Hello, 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 good morning. Well, I thought I would make a video about drawing and just having fun drawing. So I'll be doing my drawings here in Storyboard Pro, but you can draw on your pen, you can draw on a sketchbook, on paper and pencil. You can draw online if you like, whatever you'd like to do. So the purpose of this is really just to, you know, as an artist, is something that you should do continuously. As an art teacher and animation teacher, one of the things that I used to talk about a lot was how important it was to draw regularly, because the more you exercise that ability that you already have, the sharper it becomes. But the sometimes a lot of people think that they always have to be really creating something when they draw, and that's not necessarily true. When you start to draw, you can just kind of start just doodling. And a lot of times, when I draw, I don't even know what I'm gonna end up drawing. I mean, like right here, I'm just kind of sketching, and suddenly I got a face here. You know, and there's sometimes it doesn't occur to me what I'm gonna do until I'm in the process of doing it. So, like here, I didn't know this was going to be a chunky little guy. you know, um, I just started doodling. And so, yeah, just the idea is to have a good time doing what you're doing. It's nice to work. I must say, um, have being able to work digitally has a lot of advantages for obvious reasons, because there's things that you can change easily. Like I said, I just invented this, but I didn't know where I was going to go with it. But so let's say the guy is looking down at something, and what is he looking down at? I don't know. Maybe there's something in his hand. So let's say if I draw his hand here, let's say, right, I got to make sure the thumb is going the right way. Let's see if he's holding. Yeah, that's right. The thumb's going to be on this side. So is that right? No, that's wrong. That's wrong. The thumb's on the other side. Yeah, so his hand's going to be here, right? And so you got to have the fingers here like that, right? And the thumb's on that side. So he's looking down at his hand. That's kind of cool. Maybe he's holding the hand out a little further out, so maybe we can make it a little bigger. Um, so there's a. So let's see. Um, well, for the angle of the hand there, I think the hand would have to be further over, wouldn't it? It would have to be probably over here, because if he's gonna have his hand out and his arm is there, you got to have some room between the arm and the shoulder and all that to get that arm in the right place. And then that means now that he's looking that way, you see, now you can see how I'd have to change his eye line, right? So I need to move his eyes so that if he's looking at his hand, he's got to be looking up a little bit more, or maybe like right here, to get the eyes in the right place. So now what is he looking at? I don't know. Maybe he's looking at something in his hand. Could be a person, couldn't it? Could be a creature of some sort. Yeah, maybe it's like, I don't know, some kind of little creature. I don't know what it's going to be. Putting the airball here, it's like it's a bunny or something. I don't know. Right. Yeah, this is a nice thing about drawing, digitally, is that you can kind of change things quite easily. So now, so you can see his eye line. If he was looking at the thing in his hand, or this little creature in his hand, he's got to change. We got to change his eye line again, don't we, to get him to be looking in the right place. So, got to make sure he's looking. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. See, now he's looking directly at what's in his hand, right? There you go. Now, if I wanted to put a little shading on this to kind of give it a little definition, let's see. So I'll work the shadow in behind the line. Storyboard Pro has a little function where you can use color on a separate layer. If you go up here where I'm waving my mouse, that puts color underneath a line. So like for instance, if I want to put a shadow here, I can put that under, it'll go behind the line, you see. And that works with the chin, so like, you know, if I'm going to get a shadow under his chin, right? So that's real handy. Maybe in the hair, a little bit of a shadow there. Maybe under the nose, under the lip. Maybe over here on the arm. Yeah. Little things like that. Say, I got a drawing, see? And then on the guy, on the little creature, maybe we put a shadow on him too, right? So he's got a shadow. The shadow's on the front of him, right? Well, I'm sorry, on the back of him, because he's got his back to us, right? So there's going to be a hot light spot on the front of him, right? There you go. So we got a little guy, and I didn't know that that's what I was going to draw. So let's see what else we can come up with. Okay, so let's try something different. All right. Let's see. Well, oh, too thick of a line. Let's make this thinner. Get rid of that. Okay, let's see. Maybe an animal character here. Since I used to work at Disney years ago, even before that, and I got pretty good at drawing Donald Duck, but this is not Donald Duck. This is just going to be a duck-like character. In fact, I've been drawing a few duck-like characters this morning. I don't know why. Every now and then, certain characters pop into my head. So we got, there we go. All right. This character's looking down at something. Maybe there's something down here. Yeah, maybe he's holding something down here. So let's see. Well, let's see. Okay. So let's see. Maybe he's got a tousled hair. Don't know why I've drawn his hair that way, but that's what's occurring to me. Maybe he's got a suit on, you know, like this, right? Why? I don't know. I'm an artist. I haven't thought these things through yet. All right, so he's there. He's holding something. Okay. He's got a suit on. Interesting. Let's see. So, bag, maybe some sort. I don't know. Oh, maybe he's a banker. He's looking at money. Yeah, maybe there's like a bunch of money in the back. That's interesting. He's an investment banker. He's thumbing through the money. Yeah, there we go. A bag of money. Yeah, that's kind of fun. All right, so now we'll use the thing we did before with the shading. We could shade the money, since we're going to keep this black and white. And so the shading the money will set it at being, green. Well, maybe go a little darker for the suit, maybe. Yeah, that could be kind of fun. There we go. Yeah, drawing digitally is so much fun. I mean, all the years that I spent drawing on paper, and I still draw on paper, by the way, so I don't want to say I don't draw on paper. I love drawing on paper. So please, uh, don't stop drawing on paper, okay? um, there's, because there's just a quality to drawing on paper that, digital will never replace what paper and pencil and all that can do. It just won't. I don't think it will anyway. Let me just put it like that. There's a quality to paper and pencil that is a charm to it. It has its own thing. So suffice to say that I'd say that, you know, just the very fact that there's an aesthetic that you get from drawing on paper that you don't get drawing digitally. That just that in and of itself is enough of a reason to keep drawing, keep drawing on paper. The smell of paper, the touch and the feel of the graphite on the page, all of those things. So there we got a Donald Duck investment banker. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. How about one more? Let's see. We'll do one more drawing. Let's see. What can we do here? And see, I could go over some of these drawings too and make cleaner versions. So let's see here. All right. Let's see. How about a girl? Because I like drawing girls. Okay. So let's see. We'll draw some lips. Da-da-dee-dee. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Well, okay. For those of you who've been, say, watching my channel at all, I have a book that I've devoted to just drawing girls in, and I call it my babe book. And a friend of mine, Rich Chidlaw, good buddy of mine who just sadly recently passed away, gave me that book as I believe it was a birthday gift. And it's a really thick book, and it's like 600 pages or something in it. And I remember when he gave it to me, he said, "Okay, I want to see this in a week. Fill this up in a week." I know he was kidding, of course, but it's like I've like halfway filled the book up, and it's only been, I don't remember exactly when he gave me the book. It was a few years ago, but I remember before he passed away, I did show him the book, and I said, "Hey, thanks a lot, Rich, and I love this book, and look at how much I've done, and he was pretty impressed that I had done as much as I had. But yeah, I think having a drawing on paper, because this is a paper book I'm talking about. Drawing on paper is so important. I think you don't want to get to a place where you don't draw on paper at all. I think you definitely need to keep your chops up drawing on paper and keep that whole thing going, because there's just a quality to drawing on paper that you just don't have uh, when you're drawing digitally, even with all of the conveniences and the wonderful um, perks that you get from drawing digitally. It's just very different. And I don't mean different in a bad way, but I think that there is a discipline when you have to erase and stuff. There's a discipline to drawing on paper and a benefit to it that I can't even explain really. But I would suggest to anybody who's an artist, don't get out of the habit of drawing directly on paper or painting or anything where you're using actual media, um, you know, uh, pencils, inks, watercolor, whatever. there are qualities to that that um, I don't know. There's a quality to it that it's very specific thing, but there's an enjoyment from drawing on paper. There's so many things I could say about it. I mean, the texture of the paper, um, like I said, the smell of the thing you're using, like whether it's graphite or charcoal or whatever it happens to be. And it's just something about those things that add to your drawing, that add to making your drawing, you know, better, I think. So, anyways. Okay, so here we go. We have a girl. Uh, hmm. Why does she have her hand out like that? I don't know. Let's see. Hey, let's try something here. So erase the hand. And let's give her something to be putting her hand on. So let's see. Maybe it's her little brother, right? And he doesn't like what she's doing. So maybe he's sitting here with a, pissed off expression because his big sister is mussing up his hair or something. I don't know. So we'll sit him here. His hair, yeah. And maybe she's mussing up his hair. So let's see, how's that hand gonna? Yeah, it should be like that. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't look happy. So and she's messing. So we can do little speed lines here, so we know what she's doing with his hair there. Here we go. Big sister and little brother. All right, let's put the shadows on them, shall we? Let's see. So, yeah, we can shade in the hair. Well, shade in the hair. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I think you wanna exercise your drawing hand very regularly. Um, I collected, and I still actually do this. Um, Sketchbooks. I have at one point I used to count my sketchbooks, and I had at one time I had 1,400 sketchbooks. This would have been back in when I first came out here to California, which would have been 1976. That was like 40 some years ago. So, needless to say, I obviously have a lot more sketchbooks than that now. I don't know, to be honest, how many sketchbooks I have at this point in my life. I would say it would be easy to, I would say it's quite possible that I have several thousand sketchbooks by now. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But I can tell you this, that all of the drawing that I've done in my life has contributed to the artist that I have become. Um, so that's why I swear by it. And when I became a teacher, I made that I talked about that a lot to students and said, I talked a lot about how important it is to draw a lot. I have a very strong feeling about the commercial art industry, or shall I say, what I see today with young people's artwork. A lot of folks who are new in the animation world or in the art world. Here in America, I think, there's not a lot of discipline in the art world. I mean, you do see people who are pretty good artists, but you also see a lot of people who are, not so good. they don't have a lot of good habits and practices, and could be stronger, you know. And so I think drawing a lot helps. You know, it helps you to, you know, improve yourself, do better work. You know, it's all around. You know, it's a good thing. Okay, so there you go. All right, so some drawings. So you know, have some fun drawing. Have a good time. Enjoy your drawing. Enjoy your day. And I'll be doing this regularly. So I hope you see you on the next iteration. If you are interested in a class, I will put my email. You can check my email in the description and contact me if you like. I do one-on-one classes for a very reasonable price. My prices are very, very reasonable and affordable to folks who are new and who don't have a lot of money for classes. I try to be competitive there to help. I generally do one-on-one classes because I believe that every person has their own way of working and their own style of working, and so I prefer that. Also, I like it that when people take a class, that they actually get something out of it when they come out at the end of the class, that they actually hopefully have learned something and have been helped. All right, you have a beautiful day, folks, and I'll see you on the next iteration. And remember, Jesus is Lord.